Hi, everyone. Welcome to Domain Sherpa and happy Sherpaween. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the podcast with the best domain name and digital asset content in the world. Today's episode is wild. It's technically a down the rabbit hole show, and we've got Jen, Adam, Drew, and Billy all dressed up for Sherpaween. And since it is a down the rabbit hole show, as we say here on Domain Sherpa, all roads lead to domains. And in the reverse, our work with domains has us venturing all the time into different areas, hence the jump down the rabbit hole. So this is our tech adjacent digital asset, pop culture, tangent positive monthly podcast with some domain stuff thrown in for good measure. On today's show, we dive into some domain name current events, such as the recent changes on the NameCheap and GoDaddy auction platforms, the slowdown in the Chinese domain market in Q3, and which holiday domain has the most value. We also get into an interesting conversation about the Mandela Effect too. All that and more is coming up on today's episode. And remember, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you could also watch the video version at DomainSherpa.com and on our YouTube channel at ds.tv. You can also listen to the shows on Apple and Spotify and other podcast platforms as well. So make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button and all that good stuff where you can. We definitely appreciate it. We're also now integrating our shows with Muse.ai, which provides new search functionality for the shows and transcripts as well. So definitely check all that out. And big shout out to Dan.com, the #1 place in the world to buy and sell your domains with a special platform made for domain investors. With that, it's now time to get into this episode of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains, and happy Sherpaween.
Here in the forest, dark and deep, I offer you eternal sleep.
What's up, Sherpa Network? Happy Sherpaween. Thank you for tuning in today. My name is Jonathan Tenenbaum, a.k.a. JT, a.k.a. Jay On, a.k.a. Sherpa Winfrey, the host and producer of Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. Today is a holiday show. We have some traditions here on Domain Sherpa, one of them being our what is now annual Sherpaween show, which you could go back and check the archives to see some of the cool costumes that people rocked out in previously. And as you can see, today is no different. This is actually going to qualify as a down the rabbit hole for Jen's benefit in order to comply with her contractual obligations. So all good. And yeah, we got the squad, and I'm feeling the energy that everybody is bringing today. So I guess I could have said AKA Joe Rogan, AKA Show Rogan, something like that to kind of complete it for me. But let me go around the horn. Over to my right, we've got
I got an AKA for you.
Okay.
AKA No Rogaine.
Oh, okay. I like that. AKA Joe Rogan, AKA No Rogaine. All right. All right. Over to my right, we got my boy, AKA Teen Wolf. It is AKA Uncle Billy, AKA the man behind the curtain. I actually didn't even put any AKAs together for you, because but this is your first time. This is your first time on the show, right?
Second Christmas episode. There was a Christmas episode.
Well, that ties into our whole holiday vibe, our annual traditions here on Sherpa. So what's Teen Scott, right? Scott, what's Scott's last name in Teen Wolf?
Scott Howard, baby.
Scott Howard, aka Scott Howard, aka leading scorer for Beacon High. You know what I'm saying? He brought home the championship. Let's go. And he didn't even need the wolf. I don't need the wolf. So what's up, man? How you living?
Can't complain, man. Little different being on this side of the camera.
Yeah, I like it. All right, let's keep going around the horn. Down below, we got Adam Strong, a.k.a. the retired domainer, a.k.a. Nick Schwartz, a.k.a. strong to quite strong. How's your portfolio, Fokker, a.k.a. Up and Adam? What's up, man? So you went with the retired domainer vibe today, which I like. I also thought a hat and a cigarette on a stick, and we could have got some Fear and Loathing in Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Wisconsin, good. I was going to go with the Wisconsin retiree, which is flannel and a trucker hat, but
then that just be what you wear every day. You know what I'm saying?
It's laundry day, so I couldn't go get that stuff. So.
All right, no doubt. All right, well, hey, man, thanks for being here. I like it. I like the vibe. I think you got company behind you. You know what I mean? You guys just chilling, playing some bridge, doing what you do. Happy Sherpaween. All right, keeping it moving. Below me to my left, I got my girl Jen Sale, a.k.a. Alice, a.k.a. the fairy godmother, a.k.a. Tinkerbell. What's What's good?
Yes. Well, apparently this is a Tinkerbell costume. And you know the fairy story. I don't know if we should tell the fairy story though.
I mean, you know what? We're going to put it out there. I don't care. Cause you know what? I think that's the thing. It's like we were all hanging out in LA. You know, we ordered drinks at this very eclectic, cool bar that was actually Alice in Wonderland themed, which is super ironic. We didn't even do this on purpose, but it was the bar at the hotel, little speakeasy vibe, dark, cool. We're all hanging out.
And everything looks like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay, let's go. And so the drink that I ordered may or may not have been called the fairy, right?
The fairy.
Totally fitting.
and they won't let me live it down. And it was terrible. It was terrible. You know what I'm saying? It was literally like celery or cucumber. It was cucumber heavy, right? So
yeah, it was cucumber forward, and I think it also had absinthe and gin and something else in it. I'm not sure, but
there's pepper, wasn't it?
It was awful. I couldn't even. So I don't know what was worse, that I ordered it or that I couldn't finish it. But it was like,
well,
I was like, no,
I know what. No.
Well, it's a toss up. I'm gonna go with it.
I'm gonna say though, what was worse than those two things was because we don't leave beers behind in Australia. I then sculled the drink for you on the way out.
I didn't think you were going to make it after that. I was like, we're not seeing Jen. You're absolutely right. No, that was a boss move on Jen's part. All good. But we were recording the next day, and I legitimately thought, well, she's not going to make it to the show. We're not doing this now. So, but you did. You showed up. You rocked out. It was all good.
Barely. I don't even think I brushed my hair that day, which is pretty hilarious.
Well, and I think it's funny too that you say you sculled it. You know, that's like the term. I have to start using that now, you know. But if you so if anybody out there wants to know how to really get down, you got to skull a fairy. And then it's like,
that's got different meanings in America. You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
You might want to
Yeah, this is a different kind of show now.
Oh, all right. You know what? I don't even know where we're going.
The guy behind me is wondering what.
Billy, edit that out.
Billy, edit it. Oh, I love it. That's so meta, man. You get to like tell yourself to edit it.
No, don't edit that out. That's gonna stick with him forever.
So, well, yeah, I know. I shouldn't have let you tell the story, but you know what? It's fine. I own it. It's all good. I ordered the fairy. It was terrible, you know. So I do it again.
Yeah. I don't remember. It was pretty good for me too. Yeah.
Oh,
Moving on.
Good stuff. All right. Finally, over to my left, we got my boy Andrew Rosner, aka Blackbeard, aka Graybeard, the domain pirate, like totally in character today, aka Jack Sparrow, aka any other pirate you could think of, aka all that good stuff. What's up, man? How you doing? Happy Sherpaween.
Yo, I'm out here living. That's it. Robbing people, taking money, taking their gold. Look at this. I got my gold, on.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. I'm with it, man.
We got camel bone up in the house.
I was gonna say, where's the camel?
The camel bone knife. The camel bone knife completes.
Got gold.
Completes
living my best pirate life.
Oh man, this is too good. So yeah, so I appreciate it. Every year you guys really bring it. Adam, especially you, man. Like the your John Wick costume is one of my favorites. That's a classic. And but I don't know who wins today.
Sorry to let you down this week.
No, it's good. It's good, man. It's good. Anytime you can just throw on a shirt and a Zoom background to complete your costume, you got to do it. That's what I did. I mean, is it any different? I'm wearing headphones. I got tatted. I'm tatted up. I'm wearing one of my 11-year-old kids' t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? To get the proper Joe Rogan pump out my shirt. Shit says unleashed across the front. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. No, but all good. So like we say out here on DomainSherpa, all roads lead to domains. Hence, in the reverse, our work with domains has us going down all sorts of rabbit holes all the time. Like I said, this is a down the rabbit hole. But today we are going to talk about domains, but we're not going to do any kind of DomainSherpa review. We're not playing the domain game. We're not going to review a NameJet list, but shout out to NameJet. Let's talk about some just current events, things going on in the domain space and otherwise, and anything you guys want to talk about. I got a couple of things kind of on my list. So that's the way we're going to approach this one. And I guess first things first, does anybody have anything they want to lead with? All right. All right. All good. All good. Silence is acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. And all right. Well, so I saw a couple cool things happening in the auction space that I thought was kind of neat that I want to talk about. So number one, you got NameCheap recently coming out, and they've changed their platform. So now in order to participate, you've got to put up $100, and there's $100 deposit. And this one's kind of near and dear to me because back in the day when I used to run NameJet, we would run into issues where people would sign up for accounts. We had different steps and stages for verification. We had to sort of call it like a baseline verification, where we would go over all signups to make sure that they pass certain fraud checks and things like that in some of our filters. And then in order to be able to participate beyond a certain amount, which was $2,500, you had to be able to get actual full-on verification, which involved ID and all that kind of stuff. But we did have non-payment and all that kind of stuff that would happen. Folks would sign up for accounts, bid up to that that number, and then disappear. So I think this is great. I'm two things kind of come to my mind, and I want to see what you all think about it. But one, it tells me that they had enough of an issue that they felt they needed to institute this, right? And two, do you think it's a good move? I personally think it's a good move. Do you think it slows down? Does it change the flow of the auctions? Does it make lower prices, less sales? What do y'all think?
Well, I think we kind of touched on the KYC stuff for auctions when we were in LA, and what they run into, like the problem with these auctions and not verifying IDs and whether or not people can pay. I think it's a really, really great move because I'm assuming that they have to enter a credit card, which is obviously attached to an ID. So yeah, I think, and $100 is a lot to some people, but in the greater scheme of things, in these auctions, it's not really that much.
You want bid it on your auction platform.
That's right. Well,
that's not even a piece of a gold doubloon.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and even for
you got no gold coin, get out the kitchen.
down the track, they may even raise that for the more premium auctions. Who knows? Because that would be another good idea, I think.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Adam, what do you think, man?
I think it's good. I think with all the stuff that's going on, I don't know if GoDaddy stuff is still going on, but people are bouncing out of the auctions. The auctions are going up high, and then the second or third bidder's getting it. So it's keeping people out from the top. You know about this?
Yeah. So basically, what's happening is you have the top bidder defaults. So then that pushes it down to where the second bidder beat the third bidder. Right. And if you could conceivably, so it's, and I don't know about incentivized. I think that's an interesting point, right? Like it creates auction activity. So they are bidding up people that will then legitimately win, that will pay, that may have been paying more than if there weren't folks that were in there that weren't intending to pay at the end of the day. But what you're also then having is, and I think this is the intent of the folks that are doing this stuff, is that if they're tied into the two top bidders and then they run it all the way up, third bidder drops out after a while because he says, all right, I'm not interested in this. Maybe even willing to pay more money, but says, hey, there's already two guys duking this out, so I'm just going to sit back and let it do what it do. And then, the first guy disappears without paying. And then the second guy, who might actually be in cahoots with the first guy, is actually getting that domain at the much lower price. So, and I don't know what their fraud checks are like. So again, I don't know that. I think who it's benefiting is really benefiting the scammers, who are then getting a domain at potentially 10% of what the cost really should be in the market. And then, also then, it's then not allowing other legitimate buyers to participate and buy those domains, at prices that they'd be willing to pay. So, I think it's probably for GoDaddy, maybe a bit of a wash, but I think, really who it's benefiting is the is the bad guys. So, and like I said, I know what that's like, trying to keep them off your platform. It's not fun, but
yeah, Drew, you're talking about just letting anybody in the door is incentivized towards GoDaddy, because anybody can push those prices up. So that works out. But this is a different scheme. This is like it's like you were just saying, JT, it's more geared towards, how can I get these domains cheaper than scare everybody off? And Michael Sumner over at NameBio has been tweeting about it. I don't know recently or not, but at least within the last couple of weeks or month. But this kind of ongoing thing with GoDaddy needs to be fixed. And I don't know if I would imagine you could probably run the same scheme on Namecheap. The $100 isn't going to scare anybody off if you're wanting to run that same scheme. But
No,
Well,
but
at
I guess
least,
it's
at
you
least,
identify.
yeah, you could
who's
identify
doing
who it
it.
is. Yeah, I don't know, but
Well,
yeah,
and you know, it's
so-
funny. So we're talking about this, earlier about this particular thing that Namecheap did, and why it's good, because it adds that extra level of verification. It makes somebody put their information up, has more skin in the game, more accountability. One of the things, because what we would run into at NameJet, we had a window where people had gotten a hold of some stolen credit cards, so they would get in there, and then this is where it's like I don't know that. Because any folks can buy credit cards on the dark web and all that bullshit. So you could run into an issue where even though they can put up $100, it's not going to solve everything. The issue we ran into, and it was like an interesting couple of week period where some folks must have gotten a hold of it, because it was all based in European credit cards that gotten hijacked. So people were buying names and then trying to and what I told Drew, and I were talking about this earlier, I'm like, but it was such a dumb plan, like I was like, there has to be more to it than this, because I just don't understand why somebody would, utilize a stolen credit card to try to take a domain name that then they need to win the auction, pay for the name with the stolen card, hope that whoever had the card stolen doesn't recognize that they got a charge on their account within not just the amount of time that it takes them to take possession of a domain, but then in the amount of time it would take them to transfer it somewhere that it's not going to get clawed back later, right? But you've got the transfer lock that's going to hold it up for 60 days, so on top of however long it takes to, sort out the auction, get the name transferred. So it's like, that's maybe you've got a 30-day window from the time somebody sees their prior credit card statement to the one that has a bunch of fraudulent charges on it. But I mean, it just seems like there'd be better opportunities for these criminal masterminds to go make some money than to fuck around on NameJet. But, but hey, it's like we always say, you think about how dumb the average person is, and half the people in the world are dumber than that. You know what I mean? So happy Sherpaween, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Let's go. But anyway, I'm just saying. So, but I do like it. I think it's good. I think it's the kind of thing that, to kind of to Drew, I think Drew makes the point that matters, where it's like, yeah, it might have a chilling effect where people are like, hey, I don't want to put $100 on this. But if they're not willing to put up $100 to participate, then they're either buying pigeon shit domains, to quote, Nick Schwartz below, or, or they're buying names that don't matter, or they're not really in it. So it's like, what's the value at the end of the day for them on the platform? So I like it a lot. So let's call that a thumbs up. I like it. All right. Now, staying on the auction topic, right? I got another one. GoDaddy auctions raising the minimum bid to $25 from 12 to 25. So effectively doubling the price. What do you guys think about that? Anybody?
well, it doesn't seem to affect the scamming, but I don't know what. I mean, it's just GoDaddy money grab. I mean, it's
Listen,
crap.
price going up. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Price going up, and you should expect it, and you should expect it to keep going up. So, it is what it is. It's a free market, and that's great. And they're gonna raise the price, and it probably isn't going to affect sales one iota. And if it does, then they'll change it, but I doubt it will. So.
Well, so the last time we were all on the show together, you two specifically, meaning Adam and Drew, were talking about how you guys aren't really buying as much now. So,
Right.
Are you guys participating in any of that kind of closeout activity? I mean, when's the last time that either of you guys bought a domain for sub, $25?
Yeah, it's been a while. New registration, maybe.
All right.
Other than a
So
couple of hand wedges.
Yeah, when's the last time you made a hand registration? When's the last time you had a hand registration?
we picked up a hand reg.
Yeah, hand raised, but I'm not buying nothing at auction for that.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't. The last time I bought a closeout at $12 was, I don't know, 5-10 years. Somewhere in the 5 to 10 year range.
Okay. So
It's just not where. I used to mess with it a lot. If I went back 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I would be scanning that list every day. And then at some point, okay, it's a good value. I'm not shitting on that or that model at all. It's a good value. If you can get a decent name In fact, I tried to demonstrate to deadbeat relative at one point how there was easy money. Like,
I was waiting to see if it was
basically,
getting
you could
called
go
out.
in here. It was like, you see a name and you're like, oh, this looks vaguely good. Okay, go to Google and you just look and see if there's any businesses that, correspond to that domain. And then if you're buying it for 12 to 50 bucks, contact them and see if they want to buy it for $300 to $500. And if you do that over and over again, you will start making some money. And it's really low hanging fruit. This is easy stuff, folks. Like, believe me, easy peasy if you have any level of intelligence and the willingness to do the work, because it is work. And if you're able to do that, you will make money. And if you can't do that, probably should get a different job. But
so wait, are you talking about just?
But I just realized at one point it was like, okay, it takes a whole lot of $50 buys that turn into $500 sales to equivalent to me buying a $25, $50, or $100,000 domain that I'm going to sell for 10 times that. Like, and so I focus my energy on trying to find, the great $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 domains that I can buy that I think I could sell for 5 or 10x of what that price is, instead of buying thousands of, $20, $10, $12, $25, $50 domains and trying to flip those for 10 or 15 or 20x.
Quantity over quality.
Yeah.
Quality over
Vice
quantity.
Or vice versa.
I mean, hey, or either way, you know what I'm saying? Either way, it's all good. By the way, I like that you invented a new word, which was equivalate. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be, I'm going to start throwing that out.
JT, I'm just like Googling equivalate to see if it's actually a word.
And it is.
If it's not, we should, and if it's not a word,
thank you very much.
What's happening on equivalate.com? That's what I want to know.
I thought he said equivalate.
No, that's
so. Hey, Drew, seriously, like, do you really think there's opportunities?
I mean, the bodies.
There's people that are out there buying like names because they're registered in different extensions, and there's companies that have that name. I mean, do you really think the wholesale, getting something for $11 is even?
This was about a year ago.
Do that
I did this with a deadbeat family member, and I spent about an hour with them doing this. And I mean, I identified, I think at the time, like 15 names that I would bet the farm I could have turned around and sold for, 10, 20x.
When was this?
Huh?
When was this?
About a year ago. About a year ago.
Oh, a year ago. Okay. I don't know. I think there's guys out there that are buying, bulk, that are just buying based on those parameters. So I think, doing the treasure hunt is become a little bit more difficult because there's people out there with like just vacuum cleaners just grabbing everything they can. So
yeah.
And algorithms. They got algorithms.
And by the way, I'm
there.
doing it without my headset today. Do you guys hear me as well? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
No, you sound good. At first I thought maybe you sounded a little bit further away, but it could be because you're currently on a pirate ship. Exactly. That's why. yo, the domainer's life for me. But yeah, no, look, I think that's interesting stuff. It'd be interesting to talk to some folks. There are some people out there, we come across some Twitter and otherwise who, are newer to the space, newer than even like, than a Josh. I mean, like, within the last 2-3 years, I'd be curious to talk to some folks that are, a little bit more like, I don't want to say rookies or whatever, but, having some success, but, are they, how much of the closeouts are, like how much of their time and their success that they've seen early on is related to that? Because I think that, closeouts are pretty, viable on-ramp for a lot of new domainers, right? So, and, is it still viable? And I guess that's what we're talking about. So, and I'm just, trying to use a lot of vocal fry to sound like Joe Rogan.
Names in the closeout right now.
All right. Let's go.
I mean, by the
also
time
be like,
this should all be gone, but
yeah. But hey, it at least lets you equivalate it to something real.
Yeah.
So, which it is a word. So, and I dig
I
it.
equivalate you to a fairy.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
How do you, does anybody know how to get to the closeouts? I don't even know.
It's GoDaddy.com.
I know, but they got the weird thing now. You try to go to auctions and then half the freaking names they show you aren't even auctions. They're like, Dutard listings. Like, let me sell XYZ JK blah for, $48,000.
Dude, we have that game listed for that much.
Thank you. So useful.
So can you go to
you got to tell them, give me back to classic. You know what I'm saying? Give it back to classic. You go to
classic. Yeah.
Bring
back the classic.
Yeah. That's it, Back. Are we too old? Are we getting old out here?
They didn't make it better.
Well, that's interesting.
Rarely do. So. They rarely do.
Well,
okay. So, they didn't go to 25. They went to 30. Oh no!
For closeouts,
I don't even know what this means. This is all, but
shake your fist at the sky, Drew.
Yeah.
Back in my day.
There's some things I'm good at and some things I'm not. But I will find you a name in here that you can make money on.
All right. Well, let's do it. We all like money.
Guaranteed. But you don't have to sit here and wait for me to do that.
Well, in the meantime, let me give a shout out to Andrew Alleman. I'm pulling some of these things from headlines from Domain Name Wire, and so I just thought fill in a little bit of the dead air with a big shout out to Andrew. All right, how's that? Did that take up enough time? If not, let me give a shout out to Elliot Silver.
What are you shouting out Andrew Alleman for?
I was just saying I'm pulling some of these headlines of the things that we're talking about, these current events from Domain Name Wire. So. Shout out to him and DomainInvesting.com. Him and Elliot.
Even if he publishes fake news sometimes.
Ooh, that was. What are you talking about, pirate? What are you talking about, Graybeard? That's not Drew talking about.
Nothing but love and respect for Andrew Alleman, 100%. But there are people.
Time out. We all know. Before you even go any further, I just want to be clear.
Other things that are not news or truth.
I just want to be clear.
That's all I'm going to say.
That when you say anything followed by the word "but," then all the shit before "but" is like you might as well not even listen to it. He's like,
yeah, it cancels everything else out. That's what my therapist told me. It cancels everything else out.
Exactly.
And so. Then you got to ask yourself, did I do that intentionally or accidentally?
Ooh, I'm with you. So anyway.
I can't equivalate it.
All right,
I don't know.
Here's one. Yeah. Versesforlife.com, $11 with 1 hour to go. That's
Versus for Life.
You're going to sell that
Versus.
You're going to sell that name for $250 to $500. Easy. You make 20 emails, you'll sell it.
Wait, is it verses like, so it's verses like song verses?
Here's another one, $50. biolaborganics.com.
Okay, that I can get down with. That I think makes more sense to me that you can go sell that for $300, $400.
It makes sense to you. I'm telling you, it makes money. You don't have to agree.
But what's Verses for Life? Who's buying Verses for Life?
Yeah, dude. What's up?
Like, what does that mean? I guess I don't even know what words you're saying.
What is it? It's provocative.
It's provocative. Nobody knows what it means. It gets the people going. Verses for Life.
If you do a simple Google search, you will see that there are endless numbers of websites that use the phrase Verses for Life.
All right. Well, I just want to know, what are you saying? VERSES FORLIFE Verses for Life, or verses like me versus you? Because this feels pretty confrontational at the moment.
Versus.life. Versus.life is your buyer right there. But you know what? I'm telling you, this seems Christian oriented and not a big buyer. The old church is not a big buyer of domain names.
Oh, okay. Again, Verses for Life. I see what you're saying.
Here. We're going for low hanging fruit. My point is, you could take
what do you want to make on that?
$50, and you could turn that into $250 or $500 very easily. People overcomplicate this stuff.
Actually, yes, that I would agree with. I think that, and that's really the point. And I get what you're saying. You're saying, look, at your level, you don't need to be digging through the pigeon shit to try to find a nugget of gold here or there. But for the folks, especially that are getting started, that don't have a big old budget, you have to start somewhere. And this is why I said, I do think, and this has historically been the case. I mean, all of us, we've all bought names at closeouts, you know, and built some of our portfolio that way. In some cases, people bought more than others. And, you know, to Adam's point, it's, you know, when you got the huge domains and other folks that are in there with their, you know, their bots that are just cleaning up, it's, you know, it could be kind of exhausting, but you know, you got to put in that work. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get the reward, you got to put in the work. Versus for life. You feel me? So
somebody buy it. I'm trying to buy it, but it's not going through my cart. Billy, did you buy it yet?
No, I can't find it.
I found it, but I can't sign in for some reason. My GoDaddy account.
I bet you. Let's just take it. Hold on, I got another one. I bet it's.
Go buy it, Drew.
I'm not buying it. I don't even want it.
Come on, man. Prove it
here's
to the
another
people.
one. THS Security. Okay. Now, trademarks aside, that's THS Security. There's multiple companies called THS Security. THSsecurity.com. You can buy that shit for $5 right now. Okay. 3 hours left. $5 closeout. If you think you can't sell that domain for a 10, 20, 30, 50x, you're out your mind.
There's not one company on Google that's called THS Security.
You're wrong. I just saw them.
I'm just messing with you.
Anyways, I don't need to keep playing this game, but
no, but I think this is all good.
Point
this
is,
good.
Like,
this is good.
People are just, you know, they overthink things. They're too lazy. You go into the closeouts. There is an endless pool, just like a fire hose of, you know, low hanging fruit for anybody that's willing, you know, is in the position where, you know, that's a meaningful profit. Like, but that is a great way to build a portfolio. But don't just go buy 1,000 of these. Buy one, go sell it. Buy one, go sell it. Don't get too deep without a track record of success, because if you don't have a track record of success, then you're just not good at it, and then you should pick something else to do. But
otherwise, he's saying
low risk, low hanging fruit method to get into this game.
Boom. That's great content right there. Or to paraphrase, what he means to say is, "Dar, there's gold in them there caves." Yeah. Hey, I'm amusing myself, man. I don't care. It's all good. We out here.
Glad somebody's amused.
We out here giving them gems. You know, it's like the Goonies. You know what I'm saying? We coming up on the bag of, you know, like, oh, I got that bag of the gemstones. You're probably surrounded by gemstones right now, Drew. You literally are. You have become a fucking pirate. It's crazy.
I got gemstones for days up in here.
That's what I'm saying.
I got a big old sapphire in my hand right now at all times.
Like sapphires, rubies. Dar. I love it. All right.
Got rubies for you. Got a ruby. He's a big old.
That's what I'm saying.
For you.
Hey,
big old teardrop. Untreated too. That's an untreated. Let's see. 15.64 carat African ruby. I don't know what country in Africa.
You don't remember where you plundered to get that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. You know?
You're like, hey man, it's all good.
Take the gems and move on. You know what I mean? You don't.
Well, so no.
On the next episode of Rich People Hobbies, like, what the hell?
Oh, I mean, hey, you know, he's living the pirate life. It's true.
MediaOptions is the industry's leading domain broker specializing in domain acquisitions, high-value domain sales, and domain name consultation. As pioneers and thought leaders on the subject of the domain aftermarket and domain name value, plus through their clear domain acquisition service, MediaOptions offers startups and established corporations an unparalleled scope of high-value domain options, providing access to domain names and curation technologies not available elsewhere. MediaOptions believes in the power of a great domain name and is dedicated to helping you obtain yours. Call or email today to put a domain to work for you.
All right, let me go through one more headline and then we can kind of talk about some other stuff. But the VeriSign earnings came out and they noted a big drop in China activity and basically said that
$5 bulletsecurityforce.com. That's a winner.
That is a good one. You know what this is going to turn into? Is it going to turn
What
into
is it?
Drew sending me an email later being like, hey, so I bought 30 names out of the closeouts, put them in the inventory. We got to get them priced. Like, let's go. By the way, I'm thinking that we should reconfigure some things business-wise. Every morning, I'd like you to go on the closeouts, pick out 20 names. We're going to grow the portfolio. It's happening. So, but China though. So it sounds like are you guys, let's see. So, you guys typically deal in big ticket sales and a lot of that kind of stuff. You do find some buyers and sellers in China. Think what I'm seeing, and maybe this is somewhat anecdotal and somewhat in the news. And, again, we have some clients on our side, both buying and selling, that are from China. And but anecdotally in the news stuff, it seems like we see more selling out of China than buying for sure. Would you guys agree? Do you see anything else? Any other thoughts on that?
I think it's nuanced. China is on a very slippery slope. I would argue that in our lifetime, they're in the most dangerous economic and geopolitical situation that they've ever been in. You have inflation. You have the biggest bubble on Earth in their housing market. You have a terribly struggling banking sector, and it's not going to end well. And so, on the one hand, that obviously translates into slower economic growth. That translates into tougher decision making for corporates and startups, and less funding for startups and all that stuff, right? And that ultimately, as we've talked about, ad nauseum, leads to less domain purchases. Mm-hmm. That being said, and I think this is true across the board, just on different timescales, ultimately, what is going to happen, and what has basically started to happen this week, is China's gonna, turn on the money printer, and money printer gonna go burr. And at some point in the very near future, people that have real money, real wealth, understand, particularly over the last, 5 years, that you have to take that money and you have to put it into, real productive assets. And the value of those assets will keep pace commensurate with inflation, monetary inflation, as well as price inflation. And so the last time that we saw something like this happening in China, where they tried to, plug the hole in the capital flows and, manipulate the low, the national fiscal and economic situation, was 14, 15, 16, which resulted in the largest, we talked about in the last episode, just the absolute massive wave of Chinese domain purchasing in the form of, wildly speculative, 4 number, 5 number, 6 number, and ultimately 7 number .com domain names. And while I don't expect history to repeat, it will likely rhyme. And so I would expect that not only will this translate into, material speculative domain acquisitions from domain investors in China. We're not talking about increasing corporate purchasing. We're talking about investment purchasing in China, buying real assets that are outside of China that they can sell for foreign currency that are outside of the currency controls. And it'll also result in big influx into purchasing into likely Bitcoin. So I think that in the short term, we're starting to see that same effect in the US. I mean, look, there's a major economic storm coming, and whether that starts in China, starts in the US, it doesn't really matter. It's going to happen everywhere. But it's not just cut and dry, just because the way that modern governments deal with these problems is to, increase the M1 money supply. And then, you just got more dollars chasing the same number of goods. And that does one thing, up and to the right. So it's terrible. It's terrible. It's just that, it's basically terrible all around, but you can address it if you are so lucky by front running those assets that are likely to catch a bid by people trying to get cash into assets.
Yeah. No, I think it's all good. I mean, not all good. I just think that all makes sense to me. And I just would appreciate it if you did that whole breakdown talking like a pirate, but we can't get everything we want. But no, I think you're absolutely right. And it will be really interesting to see how they deal with all the chaos that's going to come. You look at the Chinese ghost cities and, just the different things that are going to be this enormous, like catastrophic drag. It's crazy.
The most amazing example of why Keynesian economics does not work. It's like, let's build a 100-story skyscraper. Oh, it never sold. Let's now tear down the 100-story skyscraper. And somehow that's like, increase GDP. Well, we built it. It was useless. And we tore it down. And, somehow we created positive GDP in that useless event. Right. And then they'll count the GDP again when they rebuild the useless 100-story skyscraper. And it's just silliness. We live in a world of silliness run by stupid people.
That's what I said. That's what I led with, man. That's what I said.
They're either stupid or malevolent, one or the other. I'm being nice by calling them stupid.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being nice. All right. So what else you guys got?
Halloween.
It's Halloween. Here's the thing about I love Halloween is my jam. I do love Halloween. I don't know if I love it as much. Yeah, I do love candy. I'm trying though. So I said like a couple of days ago, I'm like, that's it. I'm not eating any more processed food. I'm not eating more sugar. But then I'm like, but how am I going to make that declaration 3 days before Halloween? Like it's just, I can't.
Yeah, of course you can. You just don't do it.
I know, but then that means not doing
like
it.
A wise man once told me, he said this is a man that he loved some women, and he caused a lot of problems in his relationship. And he told me, he said, I went to my psychologist, and the psychologist said, there's a simple solution to this. You just, every time you see a woman that you find attractive, you just tell yourself, it's simply not an option. Yep. And if you repeat that to yourself enough times, you'll start believing.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely right. That's it. You gotta you just gotta turn a switch off. You gotta say it just can't happen.
The opposite work?
Opposite definitely works.
Go get it, Teen Wolf. Let's go.
Opposite definitely works.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? And what you're slipping slope for sure. But anyway, I like Halloween a lot. I also like some of the other holidays. This was making me sort of a little quick domain exercise. What holiday domain name do you guys think is the most valuable domain name? Right. So if you take, holiday domain. So if you take Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that kind of stuff, and you stack rank them. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
Christmas. Yeah, Christmas for sure.
I mean, what kind of question is that? It's the most commercial holiday there is.
Yeah.
There's no other holiday that people spend more money on.
I brokered that domain a long time ago. I could tell you it came with a package of a bunch of other holiday names too. I think Mother's Day, Father's Day. It was a great package. Valentine's Day I think was in there. So it was like the ultimate.
Like, what do you do with mothersday.com or fathersday.com?
Flowers, bro.
Flowers, wine,
yeah, maybe Mother's Day. Father's Day. What do you do on Father's Day?
Ties, dude.
Ties, yeah. I just want time and space. I just want leave me alone.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some room.
Yeah.
Just put up a blank page. Just put a blank page. Yo.
This is all I want for Father's Day.
Yeah,
solitude. It forced to solitude.com.
Out of family reply.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. All right, well that's cool. So all right, so Christmas, that was not much of a debate. What about months of the year? Is there a particular month of the year domain that you think is like that make December the most valuable month domain?
No. I reckon you go
July,
May
'cause-
or May because
May.
it's short and it's easy to spell. Passes
And it could be other
test.
things other than just a month of in the calendar, right? So May could be
March is pretty good too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
March
March,
is
Yeah,
good.
March is
I think
cool.
March is the jam.
Yeah.
Ooh, March is
That's
good.
owned
You're right.
by Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron Misa.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. June.
June is good too. It's a name.
June's nice. I like June.
April.
But I think March is,
April.
March is like a command.
Yeah, March is solid. That's a solid word. I feel like I'm Joe Rogan getting high with Elon Musk out here. You know what I mean? He's like, man, March, that's a good word. That's
Wild.
a good word.
That's just wild.
All right, well that's cool. That's cool. We said we're going to keep it relatively short today, so we don't have a lot of time to keep this moving. But
All right, I got a little Halloween thing for you. Well, it's not really a Halloween thing, but it may be seen as appropriate. So, I've been reading about Mandela effects. Do you guys know what the Mandela effect is?
Yes.
It's the coolest thing. It's like how
Is it Nelson Mandela?
mass hypnosis thing. It's like, so basically like huge
Nice.
swaths of the population, 100% they believe they have a memory of something that actually didn't exist.
or
And
the
it's
my
not
thought was that it
individual.
was like they remembered being somewhere that they really weren't. Like there was some event that they were like everyone's
Well,
like, I was at Game
applies to
7
that
of
too.
the World Series, and it's like no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
point,
yeah.
100,000 people said they were there, but yet there were only tickets for 20,000 people, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but no. It's that there's some more. It's more like trend stuff. So there's like Bernstein Bears is like one of the well-known ones, and the way it's spelt, people like get that mixed up. And the other one that I find quite funny is
The
Britney
technical ones
Spears.
aren't-
Britney Spears wearing the headset in one of her videos, and everyone's like, yeah, she's wearing a headset. And I feel like I saw her wearing the headset, but you go back, she's not wearing the headset in the music video. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
are you
Yeah.
So
sure?
it can't, the name comes from people believe that they swear they remember reading the news reports, watching the news about Nelson Mandela dying in prison. And then when he actually finally did die in 2013, I believe, or something, people were like, what? But, there was like a conspiracy theory. They're like, but he died 20 years ago in prison. I know it. I saw it. And anyways, and that's not like an isolated incident. It was like, millions of people believe that. And there's a lot of other ones like,
I'm your father.
yeah,
Oh,
Jiffy
yes,
peanut
yes.
butter. Like my favorite one is Jiffy peanut butter. Like I would have literally bet everything I have that Jiffy peanut butter existed. Like,
Well, it's
but he
Jif.
didn't. It was Jif. There was never a Jiffy peanut butter. But I would have.
Ah,
I would have sworn on anything that Jiffy peanut butter existed. Jiffy clear, like obviously there was Jiffy peanut butter. Of course there was.
what
but it
about
didn't.
Luke? I'm your father. What's that reference?
He never
Well,
said
because
that.
everybody believes that the line. That's another one. I mean, I would tell you, Luke, I am your father, right? But it wasn't. That's
Didn't
not what he
say
said.
that.
Yeah.
What does he?
Something
What did he
much more
say?
Mundane. He said like
Really?
he's like, yeah, man, I'm your dad, or something. He said something like it was something really mundane. It was like,
Yeah, right.
It was like something totally
Hey,
mundane.
you're my kid. We related.
Or like, all right,
me and your mom.com.
Yo, does the Monopoly man have a monocle or not?
Yes, of course he has
Yes.
a monocle.
I would have
Right,
said
yeah.
the same, but he didn't. No monocle.
No,
He didn't, JT.
No.
He didn't.
monocle
Go
for
look.
the Monopoly man.
no way.
So
Yeah.
Darth Vader says
What
Darth
Darth
Vader
said was, "No, I am your father."
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's
All
another
right,
one
well,
that's
that I
pretty
don't think is
interesting.
So like,
People don't know where New Zealand is too. That's another one.
Really?
oh, the Britney headset. I'm on this thing looking at lists. Yep, Jif,
Oh,
not
now-
Jiffy.
This
Or
will be
okay. Here's
yeah.
another good one. Like, what's the most famous line in Forrest Gump?
Jenny.
Life
Jenny,
is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right?
Okay.
Run, Forrest, run.
No,
Janet
well,
and I was like peas and carrots.
life is like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're gonna get. Life is like, but the truth is, that's not what he said. What he said was, life was like a box of chocolates. Which
Does
doesn't
he
even
say
sound
that?
as good. But that's
Does he follow up with the you never know what you're gonna get?
And then I think my number
Yes.
one favorite one is, okay, We Are the Champions
Nothing's real
by
anymore.
Queen.
Yeah.
We Are the Champions by Queen, okay? At the end of the song, he goes, we are the champions. Right? And then what does he say after that?
No time
My
for losers.
friends.
Of the world, right?
The world.
Of the world, right?
Yeah.
That's what he says, right? But no, he don't say that. He doesn't say that. The song just ends with "We Are the Champions, my friend." That's it. But the majority of people believe that, like, when they play that in a stadium, everybody sings, "We are the champions of the world."
It's in the lyrics,
In
dude.
the song. But that's not how it goes.
It's in the
It's not it.
lyrics.
Yo, there's some really crazy ones. I'm going through the list right now, and it's like, is there and based on my whole candy thing and it being Halloween, is there a hyphen in the Kit Kat? And the Kit Kat, is there a hyphen?
No.
No.
Are you
Nobody
sure?
does that.
I don't
No,
think
there's
so.
no hyphen. Fine, that one's not a good one. I'm just on the list. But did
Yeah,
Curious
this is
George
what you're
have
going to be doing for the rest of the
did
day.
Curious
I can
George
just
have a
see it.
tail?
No.
Yes.
He did
Yeah.
not. No, Curious
Oh,
George
really?
had no tail. He was a
What?
tailless
What?
monkey.
That's wow.
I know.
That's weird.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
Oh my god.
No way. Did you know C-3PO has a silver leg, like one random silver leg from the knee down?
Yeah, dude. Everybody.
Did you
everybody
really?
knew that.
He wasn't just all gold? I would have bet my life that he was all gold, since we're talking about Star Wars. So, all right, well,
I'm playing
Okay.
Queen right now because he says it at the end.
yeah, the Luke, I'm your father. Yeah, they just changed certain things. Yeah, the life is like a box of chocolates. Okay. And then like Snow White, what's the thing?
To everyone
so the Snow
listening
White-
and watching this,
I hope everybody got blazed before the show just so they could at least get some value out of it.
this
to
is
put a
exactly
disclaimer.
how our conversations do go.
All
offline.
right, so what does Snow White say to the reflective thing on the wall? You know what I'm saying?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest
she-
of them all?
Right, but she doesn't. She actually says magic mirror on the wall. She never says mirror, mirror,
Yeah.
So
So,
it's like,
Lies.
I mean,
it's just random
Lies.
stuff that's just
Lies.
here's the
No.
deal. I subscribe to the theory that we live in a multiverse and there's this alternative universe that we sort of
Oh,
pop in and
gosh.
out of. And in that universe, that woman said, mirror, mirror. That's the universe I live in. You can't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Julia Roberts.
Oh.
It's Julia Roberts' universe because then they did make a movie called Mirror Mirror based
So
on Snow
that's it.
White.
That's my universe.
You
Y'all
know-
keep
There you
your
go.
fun.
He also
There's
made
a
a horror
whole-
movie called Mirror Mirror.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is crazy. There's a whole lot of stuff like
JT's obsessed with the Mandela Effect now.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I
You guys
totally
Down the
100%.
rabbit hole.
Okay, I have
of
a
the
challenge.
world.
this is a
I
rabbit hole.
have a challenge for our viewers. And if somebody can get me the answer, I will personally pay you $1,000.
And we'll give you
Okay.
verses for life.
Yes, which is now registered, by the way. We're not going to tell you who has it, but somebody
I
who
want to
does.
know if there's anybody in our extraordinarily intelligent and talented Domain Sherpa audience with the skill set to identify the owner of the domain name 845145127.com.
Okay, say the name again
think-
because I'm trying
I
to
think
get
you're
this
going to have
name.
to put that up on the screen, Billy.
Billy,
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
that one up on the screen. Eight,
Go ahead,
ready? I'm going to repeat it
Yep.
for you. 8451451 127.com. You get me the owner of the domain, and you get $1,000.
Why?
This is an old internet mystery. There was this crazy sort of cryptic scavenger hunt that was done. I think it came out in like 2013 or something. And it was like a wicked, spooky, weird, that whoever started it just went by 3301 and it was basically all this like cryptography and these different ciphers and puzzles, and then there was a physical element to it. And the only traceable element in the entire thing is this domain name. The only thing that can be traced back to an actual individual or organization is this domain name. And so the internet has never solved this, and I want to see if there is anybody in our audience that can solve this. Well, not solve the puzzle, but just identify who owns this domain name.
How will you verify that the ID is correct?
There are well, that's another matter. It's going to be subjective. You're going to have to just trust me that.
All right, that's good. I like it.
If I think that it's a sufficiently probable answer, I will, I will honor the deal.
All right, I like it.
But I'm just super intrigued. But it was listed for sale at Sado, so there's somebody that knows it was, it was
Adam's already searching now.
I'm working on it.
I'm trying to get that money, man. So
I want to win that Versus for life.
Versus for life. So no way. This is like, some of these are crazy. So what was I gonna say? Risky business. What color were the sunglasses that Tom Cruise is wearing?
He's still going on the Mandela Effect. Okay.
What color?
Weren't they black?
Ray-Ban.
No, because he wasn't wearing sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? But you think he was, right?
In the movie poster, he is. Because he's pulling it down.
I don't think so, dude.
Whatever.
I'm telling you, man.
He's wearing the movie poster.
What color was his shirt?
Wearing Ray-Ban aviators.
No, he wasn't wearing.
No, not aviators. What do you call the classic Ray-Bans?
No sunglasses.
Yeah, he's got him on the movie poster. I'm putting it up. Billy, put the poster up on the screen.
Let's go. I don't know. According to this, he wasn't wearing.
I like the reflexive.
Wasn't at all. So then, yeah, and there's just a lot of these, and they're just like, wow, my childhood was a lie. This is really crazy.
JT's not going to sleep for like 3 nights.
I know. I'm totally in on all this. Yeah, that's a pretty wild phenomenon. And, well, cool. And I think that's probably a good place for us to shut it down, unless anybody else. Actually, a couple things. ICA event, Las Vegas, January. Let's make sure that anybody who hasn't bought their tickets, hasn't done what they need to do to get themselves situated to get out there, please do that. I know not everybody on this show today is going to be able to make it all the way out there for that, but Adam, are you going to go? Will you be in Vegas for that?
I'd probably, I don't think so. We'll see.
All right. You're going to still be there with all your friends in the Domainer retirement home?
Yeah. They won't let me out.
It's shaping up to be a really cool event, and we'll be there, and looking forward to it. So definitely wanted to make sure that everybody is doing what they got to do. So get your calendar sorted out, get your travel plan sorted out, get your tickets, all that good stuff if you haven't done that yet. And I think that's all I have for now, other than just to say happy Sherpaween, happy Halloween. Everybody be safe out there. Anything else that any of y'all want to share or mention before we call it?
Oh, I didn't get to like, I did have shoes.
Ooh. That's like
straight out the Wizard of Oz.
That's what I'd say, but then they'd be like, no, in the Wizard of Oz, the shoes were red.
They were red.
They were.
Exactly.
They were
That's what I thought that too. I'm like, oh, Wizard of Oz shoes. Great. You got a whole nother costume there. Well, thank you for bringing it, and all you guys, as always. Like I said, that's one of my favorite parts about Sherpaween is always seeing the cool costumes. Everybody is always doing such a great job with that. I actually think the next time I see Drew not wearing a pirate outfit, I'm gonna be like, "You good? Like, what's up?"
It's a good look for me, I think. I should grow
Were pirates a big
Yes.
deal in Lisbon?
Yes.
I feel like there was probably a big old pirate presence back in the day. No.
I mean, probably. There was probably people trying. There was probably. I don't know. It's a good question, but probably there was pirates attacking Portuguese ships.
Okay. Because you're usually so knowledgeable about everything. When we were in Lisbon, it was like you were our tour guide, and he was like, "See that random building over there? That was the the fourth family of this and that, and that's where so and so's. I mean, it's just all it was pretty crazy." So, all right, well, maybe that'll send you down your own rabbit hole about pirates and Portugal. But
it's a good question. I think I bet there was some, but I think primarily, it was Brits trying to steal Portuguese and Spanish gold.
gold.
Damn Brits! They're always trying to steal our shit.
My dad refers to me as a pirate.
Does he?
Yeah, he says that, like, I don't know. He calls me a digital pirate or something like that. I don't know. I think it's from a long time ago where, I guess. I ended up with a domain one time on a drop where I got a phone call from someone that probably looked a little bit, had glasses like these, probably had a shirt like this, some gold chains, and threatened to break my legs if I didn't give him his domain name back. And I told my dad the story, and he's thought I was a pirate. He's like, "You're taking other people's plunder or plundering their loot or whatever. I don't know, whatever you do when you're a pirate." But
no, you got to be like, "No, I'm Robin Hood. I'm stealing from the rich and I'm giving to the poor being me." All right. Well, yeah, no, I mean, hey, we've heard it before, so you might as well lean in, so
lean into that.
All right. Well, listen, everybody, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. Again, happy Halloween. Be safe. Have some fun with you and yours. Try not to eat too much candy. I know that I will probably eat enough for everybody, but and that's what it is. And to the audience, as always, we say here on Sherpa, thanks so much for tuning in. Without you, there is no us. We're going to continue to do some things. We got some exciting things coming up with Sherpa here in these next couple of months. So we'll finally get this redesign done and some other things as well. So be on the lookout for that. It will happen, Jen. It's not just it's not just a magic, have to cast a magic fairy spell to be able to get it to go live. So yeah, no, I wish it was that easy, right? But all good. And but thanks everybody. Hey, if you have any feedback on anything that we talked about today, any of the articles or the current events that we were discussing, any of the domain name stuff that we were discussing as far as the lists and which names are more valuable or whatever, chime in. We're not hard to find. And of course, anybody that wants that $1,000 in gold doubloons or sapphires or rubies, go find out what the deal is. Who is the owner of 845-145-127.com? Let's get to the bottom of it. And otherwise, we will see everybody here next time on Domain Sherpa, where all roads lead to domains. But since is the down the rabbit hole, we say goodbye. And what's the thing? Fair Farron.
Fair Farron.
Yeah.
May you travel far under fair skies.
And even further down deep, dark rabbit holes. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Happy Sherpaween.
Here in the forest, dark and deep, I offer you